morning. All right, as you've already figured out, this is Summer Missions Chapel. We'll start off with some scripture here, a familiar verse in Mark chapter 16 and verse 15. This is the resurrected Jesus is speaking to his shocked disciples. And he said to them, "Go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation." Our mandate is to go into all the world and proclaim the good news of Christ's death, burial, resurrection, his atonement for our sin. We're to go into all of the creation, whether it's Mexico, whether it's China, whether it is across the street, whether it is Illinois or Minnesota. It's all covered in this huge mission that Christ has given you and I to complete. So we want to encourage you to take your part in this mission. And so we want to highlight those who have gone out of their way and sacrificed their time to do just that. So that's why we do this Summer Missions Chapel each year. So we're going to start off with Sarah and Abby. And they're from Minnesota.
So we went to Minnesota, and we did vacation Bible school there, and we helped out in the churches. We did like maintenance, we did that kind of stuff.
Well, we did like VBS, and we invited a lot of kids from the church and from our own neighborhood, and that's when we went to VBS. Like we did games, and we really liked that. It was super energetic.
So when we were meeting, our youth pastor decided that since there was like a huge tree right in front of the sign, that it would be a great idea to use a nice little shovel to try and dig a tree up, and it didn't work, so we broke the shovel.
And we did like a lot of work around the church. Like that was one of the leaders cooking dinner, pastor said dinner for the VBS.
All the kids there like really love piggyback rides, and they're kind of like attention starved because like it's not like such a great community, and so they have parents still trying to like search for jobs, so they don't have much time to spend with their kids. So like those 5 days of VBS, like they just want to be by you so much, so decided that giving them piggyback rides would maybe help a little bit.
So this was Jurassic Park, and see that's like the after picture. Like before, there were like weeds past those windows, and it was like it was huge, and we had to get rid of all of them.
Well, the one on the right is we got to have a free day, and we went to a cool pizza place called Lova's, and yeah, it's the best pizza you'll ever have.
Well, this is prayer walking. Like basically, our group we split up and we go around the community, just passing out papers and praying for the communities and all the households and everything.
It was hot when we went prayer walking, so that was my friend Ross. He had a backpack on, and by the time we got back, he had a nice little sweat mark where his backpack had been, because it was like 100 and something degrees every day.
Just our team.
So during game time, the boys would play soccer, but the girls would love playing with chalk, and one thing they liked to do was just make big piles of chalk dust and put their hands in it, and then we would play tag, and you run and chase people and get chalk on them. It was fun.
This is crafts that we did with the kids, and they really loved it too.
So what did you guys learn from your trip?
I think like the first day we were there, we went to this thing where the guy, he was talking about, like, he does surveys and stuff about religions, like, in the different religions they have. And just in our little neighborhood that we were at, like, just a couple blocks, there were, like, 6 witch coven and a Satanist group. And there were, like, tons of different religions. And, like, it really changed my perspective on things. Because I had no idea before.
We kind of learned that, like, God really surprises you with what He wants you to do. Because when we were going to do the VBS, everybody had, like, assigned spots. Like, you're going to help with games, you're going to help with snacks. I didn't have anything, so I just kind of walked around, seeing if anybody needed help. And one of the pictures there, yeah, that one, they had, like, 3 little 2-year-olds that they didn't understand any of, like, the VBS. So we just, like, took them off and played with them. And we got to minister to their parents more because, like, they couldn't really understand what we said. So we just had another opportunity to witness, just because I didn't have a specific place I had to be. It's pretty cool.
All right, thank you, Abby and Sarah. All right, next, Rebecca will be telling you about her trip to Mexico. Rebecca, do you have the microphone? You should use the microphone. Some of us are old and hard of hearing.
Okay, is this better? Yeah. Okay, so this summer I went to Caborchi, Mexico, and I went with my friend Krista. So this is us on the plane, and we stayed with Tony Amore and Finch for 7 weeks. So cute, and they've been there for over 25 years, serving with New Tribes Mission with the Tarahumara Indians. So, and they've been doing Bible translation and church planting. And this was a group from Juarez that stayed there for about 14 weeks. And we had one small house with 1 bathroom, and then there was this really weird, obnoxious cabinet that everybody hated. So this video is a little demonstration that me and my friend did. So, yeah, that's it.
This is what we have to do to open this thing. You can't pull it back, it does not work. You have to take this key. Anyway, you have to take this key, this one right here, and you have to go and push it in here. And you have to turn and open it. And it takes forever. Because you can't just like close it. You can't, you always have to lock it. And locking it takes forever. And then you like have to turn it. And then of course you turn the wrong way. And you're like, and then you get out and then it's locked. You see how long it takes us? How long
You see, we had lots of fun. We made harder things fun. And why I went was to help with their 4-week-long VBS. And because I love little kids. And I love to teach them. And this is my little friend Rebecca, who is 3 years old. And I also went because I love to travel, and so this next video is one of like how we travel normally.
Grandma's big white cloud truck. And then it's going a little crazy.
So that's pretty much how it was whenever we traveled. And Kristen and I were in charge of the crafts for VBS. So this is some shields that we made for David and Goliath. And we designed the crafts and directed them. And we also just helped wherever it was needed. Yeah. And then, yeah. That's in the children's church. And we also did a bunch of fun stuff. Like we went to the Santa Rosa Canyon. And we crossed one of those big rickety bridges that you see in movies. And so that was really fun. And so, yeah, and we played games with a group that was there, and we just messed around and had a really awesome time. And some of the ways I saw God at work was that I learned to forgive even when I really didn't want to, but if I didn't, it would make things way more miserable. And I learned just how much we have here in the States. We have so much. And it did take a lot of faith to go because be away from my parents for so long because I really miss them to go 7 weeks. So, and I miss the kids so much, and I would love to go back really soon. So that's a summary of my trip.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca. She had more videos and pictures, but as you can tell here, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty because somehow I broke stuff. So anyway, next up we have Travis. And Travis and Mrs. Fleischman went to Haiti this summer. And I know there was a PowerPoint that was supposed to go with this, but maybe you could just talk about the experience, what you learned, and at some point we get the computer back on, we'll be happy to share your PowerPoint. That's going to help that I don't have PowerPoint.
Basically, we flew from Chicago to Miami. I think the most hassle we had through the entire trip was going through Chicago and Miami. It was ridiculous. Because we're running from one end of the airport to another. It was hot. And it just kept getting hotter. We went to Christianville. Went to the mission there and stayed in Village House. That was fun. One interesting thing that really happened is the food. It's basically the same thing every day. It's just rice and beans. They just change it up. They either just throw the beans in, they give you some fish, they cook the beans down to a sauce. I mean, it's really great, but it's the same thing every day. I was definitely very happy to get back to Miami. First thing I did is I went and I bought a Nathan's hot dog. Actually, no, I bought like 3 of them. It lasted about 2 seconds. When we were there, we went and worked on building a co-op building for the village. It's a place where they can just make stuff or grow stuff and they sell it to this place, and then this place sells it to an entire village. And the one thing I thought God had his hand in was, it was me, Mrs. Leishman, and a couple other people were just doing some little stuff, and then all of a sudden, boom, like the entire village just shows up and just starts working. Hey. Alright, great. Next slide, please. I just gotta do this. Just had to do that. Alright, this is when we were leaving Port Brooks Airport, heading to Christianville. This is the tent cities, or I just call it tin city. Just nothing but tin everywhere. Next slide. This is where we stayed at. We stayed on the roof. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see it. I'm in there somewhere. That's where I slept. They kind of kicked me outside. This is Mrs. Fleischman after she got her hair braided. Just trying to get it all up here. This is me and Wilkie. That and what I'm drinking, I would not recommend to drink at all. It tastes horrible. Malta.
Oh, it's the best.
That is horrible.
I had one for you.
It tastes like a root that somebody ground up and then threw in a bottle.
It's my favorite drink.
It is horrible. But they said I had to drink it. So. And this is me on union mandatory 15-minute break. And then all our water came in bags. I forgot to bring one that I had. It's just we had a refrigerator laid on its side, and we just swept guys every morning out of the back of like a Penske truck. And they would just like sit there with like an axe and just like chop chunks off of a giant block of ice, and then you block that. That was quite interesting. This is when we were scaling TVCon instead of walking up it, because somewhere in translation they lost that we wanted to go up the easy path. No, we went up the other side and had to make our own path. So that's Mrs. Leishman in the orange shirt and the rest of the group's behind me. This is the next one. This is a dog that they had there. We gave it a bath, and I'm serious, we pulled at least 150 ticks off this dog. It was sad, but I mean, after that, the thing just like sat next to you. It like sit next to your chair and just look out at you. Especially when you're eating. Oh, they love food. They actually tried eating one of those styrofoam plates once. That didn't work so well. I believe that is the end of my But it was definitely a good trip, and I'm going to try and go back next year. I might actually drag some of my friends along with me, trying to convince them. Okay then.
All right, thank you. All right, this time we're going to have the Costa Rican missions team from our own school. They're going to come, they're going to talk about the trip they took this past summer back in June.
Yes, we actually left at the end of May. I think it was May 28, 29, we're on there, day after Memorial Day. 23 of us went, not all of us are here today. There were students, teachers, parents, alumni. Here's a picture of the whole team down in Costa Rica. Had a great about 10 days, and we have a few slides we want to share with you. And this is the first one. Painting, a lot of painting.
So basically we repainted like the whole gym and the risers and everything. And then we did the little thing in the floor in the center. And like there's like a house kind of thing, like where a family stays in the gym. We had to like take it off the wood and put up new wood because it was like breaking. We had to paint it down.
Okay, so when we were down in Costa Rica, that's like the school, La Palabra de Vida. And so we were doing some projects at the school, like I know some girls and somebody else were taking tables apart and fixing them because they were old and they didn't open or something right, or they stay up. So they would take those apart and fix them, and then we had like, right, you see Nathan and everybody, like I think it's Josh working over in like that, it looks like mud. It's not mud, it was clay. And clay sucks, or whatever, you know, it's hard to dig up because it sticks to everything. We had like a foot of clay underneath our shoes from just walking back and forth. And, I don't know, it was pretty deep. It was like somewhere like that. We had to dig it all the way down and over so they can
They built a ramp, an exit ramp there, and if you heard the news, they had an earthquake down in Costa Rica about a week ago, and that helped get people out of the building quicker, that ramp and that new exit.
And so, yeah, we were digging to build a ramp, but the wall, there was like these stairs. I did not like these stairs because, one, they were like thick cement, and then there was clay underneath them, and it wasn't like you could go under them to get the clay out. We had this, I don't know, 7-something foot long hole with a little pointy thing on the bottom. You know, stab it in the clay and pull the clay out, which doesn't work because, yeah, it just didn't really work. So we tried breaking the stairs with the clay underneath, which worked. Me and Nathan broke the stairs up a lot, and except the top stair, for some reason, was connected to the pathway. Kind of didn't notice until we started breaking the pathway. So, yeah, but we did a lot of stuff. We broke the stairs, and then we had to pick up the cement, and we had, they built like a little building behind that we had to bring the clay and stuff and put it over so they could put it on the ground or whatever and make it flat. And then they built the wall up, and then we put more and built some more bricks. And we had to do the cement out, which was kind of difficult when you break it, and sometimes it's breaking the whole stair. It's kind of hard to pick up.
This is the school, the Christian school down there, where we've had students come in the past. You guys remember some of the students we had from Costa Rica?
Yeah, next slide.
All right, before the English lessons, one of the other things we had an opportunity to do once we got down there, a couple of the days I spent working with the rest of the team, breaking up, trying to get through some of the clay. That was rough stuff to try to get through. But also, they found out that I do ceramic tile work. So they had a need at one of the other churches in Alajuela, where basically we had an empty room, and in some spots water was just coming in through the ceiling. So they had an empty room, and they said, okay, we want you to build a 3-stall shower, and then fill it with, give it, a ceramic overlay. So I didn't have all the experience to actually construct the shower, but we were able to get another guy from in town who came and crudely constructed the showers. We had to bust a hole through the wall. Actually, I had to end up taking a bunch of drywall out because it was just mush and tore it out. Big cockroaches, 2.5 inches long. They're nice, good friends. And so we were able to put new walls, and once we got it all constructed and some of the cement board on, we were able to basically take a hodgepodge of all the ceramic pieces that were probably saved over the last 20 years in the shed that we ended up getting, and trying to mix and match and trying to create a floor surface and wall surfaces with this mix and match of tiles. So one day I took Tori with me, and another day I took Kaylee Nissa with me. So we had a great time. We were able to get some of that accomplished so that then they could find someone else once we left to be able to finish off that project. And I don't know how, if it got finished or not, so we'll be excited to find out. Yeah, I think one night it came back at like 10 o'clock at night. It was awesome.
This is the public high school just up the street from the church where we went and talked in English to some of the English classes there. We told them about some of the leisure activities that we do in Wisconsin. So we had things like sledding and skiing and things, and they thought we were crazy. The students are packed into these very tiny, tiny little classrooms with these very teeny, tiny little desks. It would be like, picture some of the seniors trying to get into a kindergarten-sized desk. That's what size they were. They were really small. And it was kind of interesting because teachers sometimes just didn't show up for class. And it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll go down to the cafeteria and buy some food while we wait for our next class. It was all very casual. And they also sometimes took out their cell phones a lot in class and would text to each other. And sometimes take pictures of us. Oh, Sarah. There was a boy who was in 9th grade who thought Sarah was very pretty, and he took a lot of pictures of her with his cell phone. But the classes were fascinating. They were really great, and the students were just really exciting and wonderful. I thought they were cool. Oh yeah. Oh, that's, you know what? They were taking pictures of you too, weren't they? So we had them taking pictures of several people. But it was really interesting because the students were really good-natured and they were really sweet and they listened a lot. They were kind of shy. But other than that, they were just students like students everywhere.
so we didn't just work at the school, we also taught chapel there. We did our line that we showed you guys before. And me and my brother also did a little like skit, the prayers, like the Lord's Prayer skit. I think you guys seen it in English. And there's people that shared testimonies, and we did English lessons there too. And we had a chance to interact with them, and they're good at English, you know, I could just have regular conversations with them. And, you know, pretty much, I mean, we did chapel, and we also did service, but it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
Monkeys are great to Avery. They, on the trail to the beach, they pooped on Avery. And I think some landed on Nana too. We had a great time at the beach. We went to, there was 2 beaches right next to each other. And we spent several hours there. The ride there was like 5 hours long, or was it 3? It was a long ride. And then we also did, one day we had fun. We went zip lining, which is camping down there, and we also went whitewater rafting, which was a lot of fun. And Mr. Brookheis was the first one to fall out, besides the guide, in one of the boats. It was fun watching Mr. B have his glasses on. It was fun having Mr. B not even realize his glasses were broken. He wore them like all day long and he didn't even realize it.
While we were there, we also did some evangelism in the park. We walked to like, I think it was like a national park, right? I don't know, just like really public and stuff. Right there, we did our line that we did here for you guys, and then afterwards we passed out bracelets with different meanings of the colors on them. Yeah, they love bracelets. Also, in the church, we did the line too, and then we did Sunday school and the service.
The church was like this, a little bigger gym. We just set up for church here and we slept on the floor. And quite often the young people would come and visit us. And so one night we had a game where all the young people from that church came and hung out with our kids. And we played games, so they called Ticos, and of course we were called Gringos. And we just played a lot of fun games with them. They of course wanted to play some soccer and annihilate us, and we wanted to play them in basketball and annihilate them. But the both part we mixed, we ended up playing a fair amount of volleyball, and a lot of Foursquare was the big hot game. They would just come and play. So it's kind of cool, even though we couldn't necessarily talk, sports and activities like that, some kind of made friends just by playing sports with them a bit. So it was pretty cool to meet with that. So a lot of fun activities. Young people met pretty well and had a lot of fun playing weird, crazy games, and got me to spin and look at a flashlight full in my face and do weird stuff like that. So.
Came and presented, and I hate to say this, I forgot one group that was supposed to come. Lance and Rebecca went on a mission trip as well, so they'll talk about their trip next week. I feel bad. Well, not really, but no, I forgot. We went a little over anyway. But if you're interested, last year we went to Costa Rica. The year before that, we took a mission trip to Kentucky, then we went to Costa Rica before that, and it was Iowa before that. So this year we are going on another mission trip. So if you are a freshman, if you're in high school on up, and you're interested in taking part in this year's mission trip, which has yet to be decided, in fact, you're going to help decide where we go. We'll be right here in in our country. As this is kind of the off year, and then next year we'll probably head back to Costa Rica. But right now we're going to be thinking somewhat locally. And if you're interested in coming to that, Tuesday at lunch, next Tuesday at lunch, we'll have a meeting, and we'll talk about the different options that we have. So if you're interested at all, come to that meeting on Tuesday. Even if you're not completely sure how you're going to pay for this, we'll talk about that too. Don't let that stop you. So if you're interested at all, come in on Tuesday at lunch, and we'll have a meeting about this year's missions trip. Okay, now you are dismissed. You may go to